Okay, so this part here I sped up because I laid down a background. It was an abstract background, and I ended up painting over that anyways. It made for some really cool looks that really added to the painting, but for the most part, if I would have left this background plain on there, it would not have added as much to the painting. I showed it on Facebook, and most of the people said get rid of the background, so I went ahead and listened to them. What I use for my mix is Elmer's glue and Floetrol. The Elmer's glue acts as a binder to the paint, and I feel it really helps you have a lot more cells. And the Floetrol acts as a paint conditioner, but it also helps your paint remain flexible and helps keep it from cracking and everything. Real great products to use. So here are the paint mixes, and we have Metallic Cobalt Blue by Artist Loft, and then the Amsterdam paints, we have the Violet Sienna, the Burnt Sienna, the Titanium White, and the Oxide Black. So that is the mix that will get you that right there. So here I am, ready to paint. I'm adding the Floetrol in right now, and like I said before, the Floetrol is a paint conditioner, and it really helps your paint. I think it helps it lay flat on the canvas. It helps it dry better, remain more flexible, and the mix of Floetrol and glue together, I believe, is the mix that gives you the most cells. Some people might disagree with that, but that's just my opinion. I have lots of opinions. I said that on the last video. So I'm mixing the Amsterdam White, and I'm really loving the Amsterdam paints. I mean, they have a really good thickness to them. They seem like really professional quality paints, and I like the way the Amsterdam White doesn't start to crack on the edges. A lot of whites, the cheaper brand whites, want to kind of crack along the edges after they've kind of set up a while. I don't know if you guys have noticed that before. This is one of my favorite all-time colors, Metallic Cobalt Blue by Artist Loft. When it dries on the canvas and you gloss coat it, it has an absolutely brilliant, beautiful sheen to it. It just sparkles. I'm looking at the finished product paint right now, and it's just glowing. It's just glowing. I love it. Yes, I can talk like this when I'm doing the voiceover. I did an audio dub over this because when I was originally painting this, I was jamming out on music and I didn't really want to be on camera, so. But I was like, oh well, just in case this project turns out really good, I guess I better record it. And it did. I'm just in love with it. In love. Okay, I think this is the black. So mixing up the black here. I know it seems like a long time mixing all the paints and everything, but I really want to show you how I mix the paints. A lot of people are curious and want to know how much Floetrol, how much glue, how much silicone. I get asked that a lot, so it's important. If you don't want to watch this part, just go ahead and skip past it or fast forward. YouTube does have a fast forward button. You can speed it up really fast or make it go even slower. So got the purple all mixed up there too. In hindsight, I might have had just a little lighter color on the sienna, maybe added just a little bit of white to another cup or inside this cup even, but maybe just mix another sienna and then add some white to it, because it turned out just a little bit dark, but really it was a fun one. Alright, so I am going to add 3 drops of silicone to each cup. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I can count from 1 to 3, not 2. I have upgraded, I can count to 3. I am that, it's genius level, really. So look at how I'm doing that. Just a couple of stirs. I'm not mixing it in at all. Most people make the mistake of adding way too much silicone. They think, oh, the more silicone, the more cells. Wrong. The more silicone, you won't get any cells. Okay, I'm ready to pour on this bad boy. So I'm going to start out with the sienna. Just kind of pour the bottom part there. Ever so neatly, as you can tell. Very artistically. Make sure when you pour, it's as artistic as you can get. Just joking. So this is the blue, the metallic cobalt blue in there. And I'm coming around the top with some purple. And then going to really come around with some black. Because I wanted the wave to be black, but with the color tones in the middle of the wave. So there's the water part of the wave, the white. Uh-oh, it's going to swipe it with my swipe tool, or, excuse me, my palette knife. People have got onto me for not saying palette knife. It's a palette knife, but I like to call it my swiping tool. Because this is called a swipe when you swipe across the paint like that. Look at that. That is beautiful. Beautiful. Loving it. So to get it just right, I have to come back over it a few more times. I really didn't want to, but the paint was really, really heavy there in the middle too. I got it way too heavy. So I did have to come back a few times on it, and that kind of sucked. See, like right now, I'm going over it again. When you're swiping with your palette knife, you don't want to swipe, more than 4 times. In a perfect world, you want to swipe once and leave it. But if you see something, you can swipe again. But you don't want to keep swiping, because all you're doing is just mixing the paints. Instead of mixing them in cups, you're mixing them on the canvas. But what a swipe does is it kind of mixes the paint, but the silicone separates the paint. As you can see there, it starts to separate it. So you can see I've swiped so many times it's starting to blend in that purple and blue and black. But fortunately, that's kind of what made this painting. So coming back across with some sienna, burnt sienna. I wonder if they really did burn the paint. No, I'm just kidding. I know they did. A little more cobalt blue. And the cobalt is a metallic. So now I'm making another wave within the wave. It's kind of a big crashing wave and another little baby wave. Oh, it's so beautiful. Fantastico. I just wish I would have had my background better before I poured this wave. But, oh well. Because that kind of makes the last part of the video a lot longer because I have to come back and do that. But it really turned out great. The antique look and everything. So I'm pouring a little hook wave on the top here. Got some beautiful purple going on. I'm pouring very artistically. Got the fish hook. Got my popsicle stick. I'm rocking the popsicle sticks. I mean, come on. I can totally rock a popsicle stick. You know how many paintings I've done with a popsicle stick? Get me a cold pop. Sweet brown. I saw a fire. I went to get a cold pop. Doing a little swiping action. Got that purple coming out there. Love it. So many times I love the first swipe, but then the paint, you can see how it's kind of thick right there. It's like so many times I love that first swipe, but certain times you have to go back over it and it's like, oh no. So I'm working on that back wave again, and I think I'm going to do just a little bit more, kind of make another little wave pattern. Poured some black down. Now I'm going for the purple color. I should have just poured one huge wave right over these waves. That would have been so pimp. A little more cobalt metallic blue. Gotta have my metallic blue. Get the swiping going on, Uncle Schneider. Hey, he's just swiping too much, Uncle Schneider. I miss doing Uncle Schneider. I haven't done him in a while. I want to bring him back from the dead. So I'm going to put some white over that and get some cell action going. This was such a cool pour. I mean, the colors. I wish the colors would have stayed that brilliant, but the sienna kind of blended in with the black, so I'll have to remember that. Oh yeah, looking good. I know I stepped back right there and went, oh yeah, this is nice. Get my little dolphin waves over there set. I think they look like little dolphins jumping out of the water. So cute. It's just gorgeous, gorgeous. A little white water going on. And that's just about beautiful. Putting a little white trail going down the side of that there, just for some white water action. Plus the purple was kind of uneven looking, so it helped even it out. And that is like pretty much it for this swipe action. Loving it! So here it is, still wet. As you can see, the colors are really popping. Now we're going to get ready for the next step. And once it's dry, we're going to clean it with some alcohol to get that silicone out of there. Okay, first things first, we are going to clean it off with some 91% isopropyl alcohol. Doesn't have to be 91 to clean it off. I just have some laying around. Just put a little bit on there. And you don't want to scrub it in, you just want to lightly go over it. Just want to try and get all the silicone out of there that you can, because it's a real pain in the butt. This orange dried a lot darker than I thought it was going to. The sienna color. This is what I use to make the little beads around the waves. Mod Podge Dimensional Magic. And you can find this like at Joann and Michael stores. And just follow the path of that wave. Whoop. And I'm even going to go down the side here. And I come over here. Do the same thing. And I'm going to do this side too. There was a little spot right there that I didn't get. So I don't know if I should have a little of this over here like that. What the heck, I'm going to. Apply, highlight, add dimension to projects, let dry 3 hours. I'm not going to let it dry that long because I'm just going to put a coat of the gloss. We're going to let that dry up. Okay, so now it's time to play with some paints. So let's mix up a little bit of this blue over here. Put in a little bit of Floetrol there. A little distilled water because I want this to be a thinner mix. I'm just going to mix it up with this brush here. This color loves to get all chunky. I don't know what it is about this color. I seriously don't. It does it all the time. Alright, so I'm just going to go some out here. I'm going to try it and make a nice little line. And I want all the patterns to be going upward. Up or down. And I think I might put just a hair of the blue in here. And the little bubble there helps give you, a good guideline of where you need to be. I think I'll just go right over that dude right there. Yeah, got just a little on there. Come down here, come over here, get this stuff out of the way. Get some color back in there on this side. When I originally painted this, there was just too much going on. So I'm letting it flow over that other edge, which is okay. Because I'm going to come back and do this number. And just swipe it right off. I want to have it all go this way. So we need to let that dry out. I'm going to go ahead and do this little part right here. I know I already put my brush in water. And this is going to be a hard one to brush in there with this kind of brush. Okay, so now we're gonna do the gold color. And this is by Amsterdam, and it is called Light Gold. And we're gonna take a cup and just put a little bit of water in there. We're not gonna use very much of this at all. That might be too watered down. Let's try a little though. Oh, it's working better now. The brush is picking up some of that color in there. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, there we go. I just want to have a little come across here. That's why I'm so hot in here. The heat was running. Gosh, I just heard it shut off. Holy cow. With these lights in here, it gets really hot. So really what I'm doing here is just kind of doing a little bit of glazing over here. Just doing a little bit of color. Just lightly. But I really think I want it thicker than this. And the Floetrol is a paint conditioner. And really I use it to dilute the paint, but it is supposed to make your paint more flexible too. And that way it avoids cracking and stuff like that. I thought I had it right the first time. I didn't. So I thought the gold would look good, kind of mixed in with that blue. You can tell how the blue is kind of showing through. Come across the sides. And I think that's gonna dry really cool looking. All right, so I got this to this point and it looks really cool. Antique-y, looks real surf shop, old surf shop looking. But there's just something just ever so slightly that I want around the edges there. And I think it's gonna be a little bit of this sienna brown. And I'm gonna just take a dab and put on there just like that and just work that in that water. Just get it worked in there real nice. I want it to come out just real fine. And what I might do is dab down, dab. Man, I hope I didn't screw it up. Just dab a little. Oh, sheesh, don't knock that over. Uncle Schneider, no. Well, I hope I didn't ruin it. I'm gonna dab a little harder. There we go, that's better. Just wanted to give it that little old touch or feel. It's almost like staining the canvas. I almost need something right out here, just a touch. Just a touch right there. Okay, so here it is after the brown stain. Let's take a look at that. You can tell it kind of has that stained look in areas, and I'm loving it. The Liquitex Professional Gloss Varnish, and this is a little 8 fluid ounce bottle, and I shook it up beforehand, and I'm gonna go ahead and just get that on there. I don't want to get too much on there, but you want to make sure you get enough though. And this stuff, you're not supposed to keep brushing it out, although it's kind of hard sometimes not to. So that's going to be the final brush there. I just put some on my brush here, get it on the sides. You want to just make sure you get it to cover everywhere. It doesn't have to be perfect, because you can come back and put another coat on. I'm going to spin this around. You can tell how fast it dries. This stuff really is not easy to work with, but it does dry really hard and bulletproof. Bulletproof is just a term, by the way. Nobody's going to be shooting anything, but it's just a term. I don't want to knock this over. That dog has been barking all night. I swear. I don't know what it's barking at, but maybe there's a robber out there or something. And it really is barking at something legit. Okay, so that looks good. That looks really good. This is going to dry up really nice. I'm excited because the silicone it's not beating up from the silicone or anything. It's just looking really good. Here is the finished product. You can tell it has a nice glossy coat on it. And if you can, see the little beads that I put on there for the wave. So it gives it an added dimension. But I love it. I love the look and the antique qualities of it and everything. This was an awesome project. I hope you guys get to try something like it.